Welcome everybody to the October meeting of the GRWT Guild. Do we have any new people here today that are willing to stand up and say, hey, I'm new? Got one new person. What's your name?
Fred Rader.
Fred? Nice to meet you. You previous woodturner? You brought your boat out, you must be a woodturner.
For about a year.
For about a year? Okay, well good. Glad. Welcome to have you here. For anybody who's new, our memberships is $25 a year. It's $20 if you pay in the next 2 months, right, Steve?
That's correct.
Whenever he started that. So you save $5 if you join in the next 2 months, and it's good for 1 year for $20. If you are a member, then you can check out our books, our library. You can take advantage of our supplies that we have for sale, on the break. And you can get involved with all of our raffles and all the other great things that we have to offer. I'll stand up closer up here.
Yes, hide behind the post.
I have 3 things from the AAW. We are an AAW franchise group. They have free temporary membership for 90 days. For anybody who's not a member and wants to check out the site, I have cards up here on the table. You can grab one of these cards and check out and cruise around the AAW site and see if there's things on there that you are interested in. And they're going to try and get you to become an AAW member. I believe it's $55 a year. Can somebody confirm that?
Yeah.
AAW, $55 a year. But they have a lot of stuff on that site. They have lots of how-to videos, which show you all kinds of neat things from all kinds of different techniques and stuff. They have all kinds of information. I think even some of the books and stuff they have online, PDFs that you can read. So
the magazine's almost worth it.
Yeah, and you get the bi-monthly magazine, which is a wonderful source of information. The AAW is doing surveys, which they've sent a survey to our club, and then they've asked us to forward it to all the members, whether you belong to the AAW or not. They just are taking a survey on how long you've been wood turning. I didn't look at it, it just came this morning, but we will forward that to everybody on our membership in the next probably couple of weeks. I don't know if Steve saw that or not. Did you see that today, Dave? But it's a survey, so we'll be forwarding that, and if you see that, they would sure like you all to go online. It's an online survey only. Go online and fill that out. The AAW also is doing they're handing out scholarships to, our group will get 1 scholarship, which we can nominate somebody to go to one of 3 schools. The Aeromart,
Mark Adams, John C. Campbell.
Yeah, there you are, John C. Campbell and the Anderson Ranch Arts.
Oh, Anderson.
Okay, so those nominations, if you're interested in going to that, they don't cover expenses, all the expenses. One of them does cover, I think, some room and board, but the other 2, I think, just cover the courses. But if you're interested, let one of the board members know, and we can fill out a nomination. We can nominate you to maybe win one of these scholarships they are handing out. And that also has to be done by December 15th. So we have just this meeting, the next meeting, to receive these nominations if anybody's interested in that. So I have those papers up here too. I have just a couple of those I brought in if somebody wants to read them. I have put them on the table here with the other papers for the free membership for 90 days. Let's see, it's our election time here. We need to find at least one more person to be on the board. We have Mark Zido. Where are you at, Mark? Mark over here is going to be on the board. He's going to take over demonstrations for me. If you have an idea for a demonstration or you would like to possibly demonstrate, contact Mark. Mark's going to be handling all the demonstrations and going forward. But we are still looking for one more person to serve on the board. If you're interested in serving on the board, it's not a huge deal. We meet once a month. We just try to make sure that we have a good quality meeting for everybody. So if you're interested in serving on the board, contact me or Steve or Ken, or if Jeff's around, you can get with Jeff, anybody on the board, and we can help you make that decision. We'll definitely push you right into it, okay? Let's see, the library. We've been working on the library. Dave, do you want to talk about it? Or we just talk about it?
Go ahead.
We want to get the books back. We're trying to re-inventory all of our books, all of our DVDs. As of right now, we think we're missing about $1,000 worth of stuff that we cannot account for. Most of it's DVDs. Dave inventoried everything when he started, and when he started doing this a couple of years ago, half the stuff was missing. He couldn't account for it. Things are slowly coming back. We don't think people have intentionally taken these. We think that they brought them home, checked them out, and forgot they had them, and their wife went and stuck it in the case, and now they never see it again. They don't think about it anymore. So go home, look through all your DVDs. We don't think we only have about 14 or 15 books missing, but we've got several DVDs missing. We're trying to come up with a better library system. I think Tom and I are working on getting a whole master list, and we're going to make some cards and get them into the book, so when you check it out, it'll be just like back in the old days when you checked out a book from the library, you put your name on a card. We'll keep that card so we know who has it. And that's something that we'll be working on here in the next couple of months. We are looking for somebody to help out Dave with that, so when Dave's not here, the library can still be functioned. So if somebody wants to help Dave do the library stuff, make sure that the library is active and we keep it rolling. Get a hold of Dave or me or somebody. We'll get you in touch with Dave. We would like to have a backup person for that. We're always looking for people to help out. We could use a couple more people on our AV team. I've got 2 guys working today that aren't here, so I'm considering you part of the team.
I just sat in the wrong place.
I know, you sat in the wrong place. So next month I might have to draft somebody else, but we're looking for some people who want to help out. You don't have to be here every month. We're not all here every month, and that's the problem, So on some months we need to have somebody fill in when other people are not here. But it takes 3 people to do it at a meeting. I take that back. Well, it takes 3. We have 3 right now. And that's what it takes to run a meeting. And the last couple months with vacations and summertime, people gone and stuff, it's tough to round up 3 people. So if you're interested in helping with that, let us know. Hospitality, Ted ended up doing hospitality today. He's given that up after doing it for 20 years or something like that. So if anybody's interested in being a backup for that, I don't know who our regular person is. But that person, Terry, and he's gone today, so we needed somebody to back up and do that. And then membership, raffles, demos, all that. We can always use people to help. If you want to help out, let us know, and we'll put you to work. Or volunteer to be on the board, we'll put you to work. You don't have to be on the board to help out with some of these things going around here with the raffles and the demos and stuff, but we do need one more person on the board to fill all of our positions so we can be a legal club. Next up is Festival of the Arts. Ken, if you would please step up to the microphone.
Oh, I think you can probably hear me, but...
Yeah,
okay, where's Fred hiding?
Fred Bitters.
There he is. Steer me the right direction if I go wrong, okay?
I'll do my best.
Now, I was asked to participate in one of the first planning sessions for the art sales for Festival of the Arts this year. Things are going to change. It's going to put a little bit more strain on our group. We will be responsible for more of basically everything. We'll have a place to put our stuff out. We'll still be at 10th this year. As things progress with Calder Plaza and the redoing of that, I think it's pretty open what's going to happen with everything. Am I correct there?
Yeah, you're very correct.
Okay. So, with this year, unless anything has changed since, okay, good. We will be responsible for buying a spot where before it's just been a percentage back to festival. All that will be right up front, just like any other art sales anyplace else. And the big thing that we may struggle with a little bit, I think none of this is anything that we cannot work out, is we're also going to be responsible for taking our own money.
Ooh.
So, I mean, that's...
Collecting taxes too?
Everything, yes. And we've had a couple conversations, I've talked long and hard with Doug and a couple others on how to do this and still keep it as simple as possible. And again, I don't think there's any hurdles that we can't overcome, but what I'm seeing right off the top is we need firm commitments very soon of who will be available, who will participate, and how much time they're willing to put in down there. Because, I mean, I probably spent about 60 hours down there last year total, by the time we got everything said and done. And with the extra of being responsible for collecting all our own money and getting all that stuff, in some ways it'll be easier to balance things out at the end. But while we're there, we need people there working diligently on keeping things moving. Yes?
Are we set up to take credit cards somehow?
Well, that's one thing that we're gonna have to do. I mean, that's basically survival. If we can't do that, there's no sense in us
Right.
participating. Couple different things we've looked at, and again, I don't think that's a hurdle that's going to stop us. My big concern is these decisions need to be made by next month, because this stuff will go out right after the first of the year, and we only have about 30 days to get everything back in. So they'll want to know if we're participating or not in January. We will have to make that commitment and then start working on setting ourselves up. So, couple things, just playing with some numbers. As it stands right now, it looks like, the spot that we had last year will probably cost us about $600 up front. That's actually less than what we paid last year.
It's only about 15% of sales.
Well, depending on what our sales are.
Exactly.
I think last year we gave back to Festival the 13% that they collected, roughly 675. So it was actually a little bit less than, but we had a banner year. You can't guarantee that, you just don't know.
Well, how are you going to then take
Well,
money from, you gotta figure out.
I think,
From the guy to sell stuff, right?
exactly, and I think we're probably gonna stick with the percentage,
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
percentage of sales. I think we're gonna have to roll state income tax into our pricing, because I think if we're collecting pennies, nickels, and dimes at the booth, it's gonna kill us. We can take and fill out, tax forms after the fact, just deducting 6% of our total sales to the state, and, just using a concierge form or something like that. I don't think we would have to file for a state sales tax license.
It wouldn't be a problem to file for it, it's easy.
Well, I know, it's just
Only costs
another,
you $1.
it's just another thing that, we
But
had one
once
at
you
one
do it,
time
then
and
you got
nobody
it.
wanted to deal with it. So, it was, just, yes, George?
On your sales tax sheet, I don't know whether you still can or cannot, but you used to be able to get, like 1 or 2 days, your sales tax thing for 1 or 2 days, and pay a flat fee up front. I don't know whether you can still do that.
Well, there's some forms out there, we'll have to check into it.
concierge
The
is
concierge
just about
form is
the best.
basically that, isn't it?
The concierge. So when you set up a booth, you have to have a concierge form with you, you record your sales, and you pay your tax. And once you're done with it, it's a clean deal, it's over and done. You go to the next event, you can have a concierge form with you. I've been to shows where tax people walk up and ask for your concierge form. And it may be the second or third day, they're gonna wanna see sales recorded on it.
And they're probably gonna do that if festival changes over
Yes.
from collecting the money and paying the tax. They're probably gonna be there, because we had that problem before, that's why we went to collecting the money.
Yeah.
Because we were still responsible for the tax, even though people were collecting it themselves and not paying it.
Gotcha. So,
Oh,
so, yes.
Festival was.
So there's a flat fee for the booth, and then you're gonna take a percentage of.
Well, the festival is not. It's just a matter of how do we recoup $600 upfront fee back into
Well,
the club?
that's what I'm saying, is the group gonna pay the $600 or?
Well, I
individual
think what we're gonna do, we've only had one meeting on this, but I think what we're gonna do is we'll write a check, the guild, if we got enough participation, make it worthwhile. And that's the big one. I don't wanna do this for 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
In the past, see, I've been kind of heading this up for about 4 years now, and we've had anywhere between 12, 13, up to 18, 20 people involved. You know, to me, that's worth doing. You know, that is one thing that the guild offers our membership if you want to participate. You know, so, and if we can get that type of commitment in the next couple of months, we'll figure out a way to get through the rest of these hurdles. So, I know leadership, I'm going to lean heavily on because I really think we need somebody there, a couple from leadership the whole time. We can break that up any way we need to. Yeah, it is a pain to live down there for 3 days, but so we'll try not to make it any big burden on one individual or 2 individuals. So
Yeah, besides you, it'll always be a burden for you.
Ken, maybe with the commitment, there becomes a financial commitment, even if it's a lousy $10. Okay, if you got 10 people sign up, that's $100 and it's non-refundable. So if you back out at the last minute, you're out the $10 because you need a rock solid firm commitment. And I know what it's like at festival. Yeah, I'm gonna be there, I'm gonna do this shift, yeah, I'm gonna do that, and it doesn't happen.
I guess,
That's not a bad idea.
would people object to that?
No.
If we asked for, you know, yeah, show of hands, who would, I guess first off, how many people think they would like to participate this year? Okay. And I guess of that, if we would say next month, we'll get something semi-official looking saying, you know, we need to commit to festival, blah, blah, blah. If you'd like to, I need a $10 fee up front. I guess any objections to that?
No.
What's the date of the festival?
Festival's the first full weekend of June, so I believe it's 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, something like that.
It's always right around my birthday.
Is that,
It's always right around
Yeah.
my birthday, yeah.
so it's the first Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of June.
The first week of June.
So, yeah,
One other,
yeah.
another thing is, when I did participate, I didn't participate this last year, but the year before. Anyone that participates should work the booth also.
Yes, that's gonna be pretty much a given.
Okay.
I mean, we've always asked for volunteers, and I
Right,
like
but it
people to
should
come
be
down
almost
who's not
mine.
participating just to see what's going on.
And if you work your shift, you get your $10 back.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe you make it 25 and they are committed.
You gotta-
That's what I was thinking. Make it higher and then give the money
Hey,
back when they make
For
it.
that opportunity, $10 is, I don't think it's too much to ask for.
I don't know.
$10 for the booth isn't bad.
The guild, and,
It's still-
you know, we will probably, I'm guessing, just running some quick numbers, rolling sales tax into it, trying to recoup, I'm not even gonna say all of that $600 fee up front, but
Yeah.
some of it,
Because last year, how much did it cost us for the booth?
I think 75.
yeah.
We didn't look to recover it last year, so.
Well, it cost us $25 to, last year it was $25 to apply,
Oh,
and
and then that's
festival
percent.
got percentage of the sales.
There was no
So
upfront.
there's no
dollars.
upfront fee. So I'm, basically, they're just shifting that
Right.
from the back to the front,
If,
which
Right. So we paid for that booth.
we did.
The
We-
members
We
did.
actually paid more.
Everybody who sold
That
something.
percentage, that 13% that we collected from everybody,
Paid.
and
we
that
paid
way,
for the booth.
if you've got $10 up front from whoever wants to participate in the booth, let's say there's even only 10 people, then the guild's only giving 500.
yeah.
And that's less that we have to
Right.
regroup, and I think that's only fair, because if you get a booth anywhere else,
Yeah.
it's running you anywhere from $60 to $100.
Right. And just running some quick numbers, I was in my head with average sales for the last 4 years of what we did. If we can come close to that, you know, we would probably ask for 15 to 18% of what you sell to come back to us. That way we can cover our sales tax,
Credit card fees,
credit card fees,
another 3%, so you got 9% with sales tax
Yeah.
and credit card fees.
and,
So-
you know, so.
And then,
I would definitely want to keep it under 20%, but, you know, those are gonna change as we progress.
Galleries are cheap at 35%. Most galleries are at 50.
Well, and two, they're not paying taxes out of that either, so, and
Exactly.
this is the taxes and fees just to operate, plus something back to
Some of
cover
the
the
credit
costs.
card people will discount their fee to a nonprofit. And I think Square D does.
they do.
Yeah, as a percentage, it's 1 point less.
Okay, well, that's something to pursue.
Yeah.
What did we do in sales last year?
Roughly 5,500, but it was a great weekend. I mean, weather-wise. Yeah, we've done anywhere as low as 35 to, I think last year was our 50, 55, 58, somewhere in there was our best. So, and I was kind of figuring a $4,000 to $4,500 weekend. Kind of what I was basing some numbers off from. Okay, any other questions?
Is it space size gonna be roughly the same?
We can only hope. And basically, they were talking about breaking it down to 10 by 10 booths throughout and we would be able to potentially apply for a double.
Would that double the price?
Is that double the price?
Well, it would be $600 for what we had last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like
So,
that makes it.
there's some other things they talked about too. So, you know, that may fluctuate a little bit, you know, but that's kind of the ballpark where things stand. It's early. So, did I cover what I needed to cover, Fred?
Yeah, I think you covered it. The one thing that we all have to keep in mind is that this, over the years, things are gonna change down there.
Oh, yeah.
This Calder Plaza change.
Next-
And where the tents are this year, or were this year, there are three options. One's grass, one's a pool, and one's trees. So,
Yeah.
so we're gonna have to look at,
I think going forward, everything is gonna be,
What
Yeah.
is the change? What's the kind of lot of change? I never heard of it.
oh, basically they want to relay out the whole Calder Plaza from the federal building through to the Fifth Third building. Make it, I don't know,
Something other than
usable, more friendly space, you know, progress.
How about people just be kinder to each other? That'd be friendly.
Well, so, you know, Nick, you know, this upcoming year, it's pretty much set the way things are gonna be for this year. Next year, we may have to reinvent the wheel again. So, you know, as long as we get good participation with the guild, the individuals, you know, we can work this out. And hopefully we can keep continuing to participate, but at some point, you know, we may have to look at, is this worth doing as a group?
So last year, we didn't pay anything up front for that booth?
There's a $25,
$25, and then they
Yeah.
paid 15% of what we sold?
13.
13% plus sales tax?
No,
They collected the sales tax on top of, so if you sent somebody, we brought out a slip, sent somebody up with a $20 purchase, they paid $20 plus 6% for the sales
So
tax.
If we had $500 in sales, they wouldn't have got much out of us. And I'm just wondering
Exactly.
about all these other little booths that are in there, if they're doing this thing at the rate we are, or there's a lot lower, because that thing might collapse.
Well, you know, they evaluated people coming in every year, and I believe, you know, it logic would tell you they're gonna pick the ones for the space that they have that can do the best for everybody. Yeah, that's just,
everybody that's considered, that's coming back had at least taken in $2,500 last year.
okay,
So it would be, that's where the $300 came from for the booth, for the 10 by 10 fee. So 2 booths would be 600, but it was based on what festival took in. Now, there were some high flyers, a couple of people that had larger booths and took in more money.
They'll make
So
up
we'll-
next year.
they'll make out better. And
Yeah.
there might be a couple new ones that won't make out as well.
right. Like I said, if we would've had this in place last year, you know, we paid more than $600 for our space last year. just with the 13%.
Adam, did you have something
Yeah.
here?
Just from a personal experience standpoint, now it's been a few years, but in 2012, I did both Muskegon and Ann Arbor art special by myself. And I did a little over $8,000 in sales at both events with a booth price of about $325. There's no reason not to believe that if you're active and you're talking to the people that are coming to see you, that you won't recover
No, I don't.
your investments.
The festival crowd, I mean, sales up and down strictly depends on the weather,
Sure.
you know,
You get
so.
rained on and sales.
Yeah. Remember one year we froze to death and actually tried to stay open as late as we could each night to try to recoup some of it. But, you know, it is what it is. So, you know, I just, going forward, I don't want to make it a big burden on the group. I think those of us who have participated, you know, have benefited from it. And I'd hate to see that end, just with some rule changes, you know. So as long as we have good support and good participation, you know, I think it's something that we can do. It's going to be, you know, there's going to be some hurdles to work through, but, so. All right, well, we will discuss more of this as a leadership group.
And maybe have a sign up next month.
And I'll have to have something pretty much definite by next month. So if you're not going to be here next month and want to participate, get with me now. I'll get you, you know, so I guess right now, for me to take it forward, I got to have numbers of what we're dealing with to see if it's really worth it. Okay? Anything else pops up, any other questions, you know how to find me. Okay, thank you.
Let's see, I wanted to have just a quick memo about our challenges. Our next club challenge, which I wasn't here last month to announce it, but it's going to be due at our Christmas meeting, which will be 2 months from this month. It's December already, it's Christmas. That challenge, the club challenge, is going to be something you made somebody for Christmas. So it's not something you have to go out of your way bringing something, you're making somebody for Christmas, and we all want to see what everybody's making everybody for Christmas. So that's, that'll be the club challenge for December. Plus in December we will have, we plan on doing what we did last year. We had a little raffle, or like a sale for individuals. Everybody brought in stuff that they don't use anymore and sold it to other people, just pick a price and sell it, and everybody's able to pick up some used tools and things on the cheap. I know I picked up a nice bull core from Tom last year, which I used. I just used it to slice up a burl that I got 3 bowls out of. I was really happy. So yeah, so you can pick up some nice deals at Christmas. Plus we will have coffee there, but we're asking everybody to bring in like a dessert in the past, you know, cookies, donuts, bars, or something, to give our hospitality guy the day off. All we have to do is round up the coffee that morning. So that'll be our December meeting. And then this month we're going to do the outside of the bowl. And then we're also going to do a spindle demonstration, because they're both spindle gouges and bowl gouges, they're very similar. And then next month we will do the inside of a bowl. And that'll finish up our bowl series, our 3-part series on cutting bowls. And then at that point we're going to have a bowl challenge. And the bowl challenge will be due in January. And that bowl challenge will be bowl gouge only when you make that bowl. No scraper, no carbide tools, and no sandpaper. No sandpaper. Yeah, just cut a bowl with your bowl gouge and bring it in.
One thing I did think about after we had discussed this, and I think the only place will allow you to use a secondary tool is for making the tenon.
The bottom, yeah.
You know, we want to make sure those tenons are done properly and they're going to stay in there. That might be a little tough with just a bowl gouge.
Yes, and you can leave the tenon on in case you want to bring that. I'll be fine with the tenon left on when you bring the bowl in. That way everybody can bring it home and finish it. But bring it in, we want it unfinished, no sandpaper, no scrapers, bowl gouge only. So pay attention on the bowl gouge down over the next 2 months, because I think that's a nice challenge. And that'll be due in January. We haven't decided if we're going to have bowl blanks for everybody. We're working on it. We'll see what we can come up with. We might come up with some that you can pick up cheap, but that'll be next month's challenge to be due in January. Now let's move on to show and tell. We have some stuff up here. I asked you to come up here for show and tell. Step in front of the mic so everybody can hear you talk. Let's start out with this piece right here. Yeah, you either have to walk in through the middle here or around the back of the lanes. There might be room over here. Get on up here.
All right, this started out as a walnut natural edge bowl, but the bark hit me in the face about 10 minutes into starting to hollow out the inside. This was green wood back in first week of September. So, but it's all dried out and she's came out really nice on the inside.
Nice. What's your finish?
It's deft, about 6 coats usually. That's my favorite finish. And then I sand it to about 1,000 grit usually.
Did you rough turn it, let it sit for a while, or?
Yeah, I rough turn when I'm going from greenwood. I rough turn, and I soak them in denatured alcohol for 2 to 3 days to accelerate the drying process. Then I wrap them in brown paper on the backside, and I just throw them in I call it the pile. There's usually 60 or 70 of them laying on top of everything in my shop.
So after you soak it in the denatured alcohol, do you then let it dry out for how long? How long does it take to dry?
I don't know,
Okay.
but I know that after a month, they're almost always under 9% moisture, and I've never had one crack on me final finishing it at 9% moisture or lower. So,
How much did it distort?
what's that?
How much did it distort in that time, the drying
In
process?
Very little. It did distort, but it was probably still a good 1/4 of an inch thicker than it is now when I was sanding it true all the way around. And my tenon required no touch up at all. It was just ready to grab. I mean, I tried, I yanked on it, it was good. My tenon was just good that way. And the tenon was sapwood too, which is what it really should have, it should have twisted bad on me. And it didn't. It was just good to go. I found that the alcohol soaking really minimizes how much my wood moves, because if you don't understand what it does is it displaces the water in your wood when you're working with green wood, and it replaces it with alcohol. So it's kind of like taking all that water out really fast.
Would WD-40 work too?
No. No. It is a water displacer, but no, not so much.
Do you pour the stuff in there, or just wipe it out with a rag?
No, I literally soak it. I have a 13-gallon lidded trash can that's got, I have 6 gallons of denatured alcohol in it. And then I picked up those little net bags of glass marbles and river stones and stuff like that that are all washed off. And I've probably got 40 of those in the bottom, which raise the level even higher. But the best part is you grab 5 or 6 of those net bags and throw them inside the thing, and it keeps it under and it's submerged. The cool thing is if you get busy, once it's in the alcohol, it doesn't matter how long it sits in there. It can sit in there for 3 months, theoretically, and you still need 3 to 5 weeks for it to dry, as long as you've turned it to that 10% number. I have run into a couple of woods. Mulberry doesn't seem to accelerate the drying process. It just kind of stays. I have some mulberry I did in late July that's still over 20% moisture. So, yeah.
At one point, you're gonna run to more water than alcohol. How often you refresh?
I have found that by just keeping my level at a certain level, I haven't yet to run into an issue with it. The other thing that you'll see if you do the alcohol drying process is your wood gets stained when you submerge it in there. Like my alcohol now, because I do a lot of walnut, it looks like walnut stain. And when I throw cherry in there all the time, and when I put cherry in there, it comes out very visibly stained. But what you find when you go back to do your final turning, within the first, just getting it, when you get to just true again, all the stain, it was all superficial, it was all just on the surface, and it's completely gone. It hasn't added any long-term discoloration to your wood. That's it, that's how that works.
Okay, let's, little segmented piece. Who's got the segmented piece? Charlie?
I don't remember how many segments are in this one, but I really like this one. I sold a couple of them out of maple. I enjoy these hollow forms.
Stand up to the microphone, would you, Frank?
Okay. And I just turned my first bangle bracelet. My wife wanted me to do these, so this was a lot of work. It's segmented, 12 segment rings, a lot of work. And then this one gave me many headaches. Doing the feature ring, I was cutting all my pieces 3/4 inches wide because I was going to turn it down quite a ways. And I'd go back and some of these layers would slip off during the glue ups. So I ended up, I started making 8 of these because I got 8 of them going around. And I had a lot of problems with it. So I ended up, I trashed them all, and I ended up making 4 2 inches wide, and I cut them right down the middle of the bandsaw, and I had 8. It's a lot easier to work with a wider piece than little 3/4 inch pieces, 1/2 inch pieces. So I just made them wider, and that was a real learning process. But I think I worked on this one like close to a month, and then my lathe decided to die on me, so it took even a little bit longer. So I finally got it repaired. But I really enjoy segmented turning. I do traditional turning as well, but I really find this a challenge.
What's the finish on that?
Just wipe on poly, many coats. I couldn't tell you, maybe 8, 10.
All right, who has the,
I had a couple pieces up here.
okay?
Finally had to try one of these. And we'll be talking afterwards because there's some issues that popped up. Anyways, just basically the bowl out of the board, rotating everything about 45 degrees before gluing it back together. I guess that was the tough part, is I take it so far and, okay, now what I'm going to do it, so it sits on the bench for a few weeks so we figure something out. So, but anyways, that is still working on getting a little bit more finish and getting it buffed out. And the other thing I just started playing around with was just using some transient dyes. So, just fun, something a little different. So,
Did you airbrush those on?
yeah. Just basically fogged it on with a cheap airbrush. Just looking to cover it with color. You know, nothing real precise or fancy. But I can definitely see now after doing that, some of the finer shooting guns you can play around with some even sharper accents. And going back to trying to figure out colors, and when you mix these 2 colors, stop from getting mud, you know, that type of stuff. So, interesting.
Is the color in the wood, or is it in the stain, or the finish?
It's a transient dye, so basically it's a few drops of dye mixed with, well, yeah, you dilute it a little bit with mineral spirits, but it's used shellac base.
And then you spray the shellac
And spray that
with a
on
little
there.
airbrush? Okay.
And then basically cover it back with shellac and then take it through a normal finishing process, whatever you're going to do. So all your dyes are actually sealed back inside. So it doesn't really penetrate into the wood, more lays on top. I sealed it really heavy. That's why I did them wet, kind of pushed them a little a little bit, that's why I think they're
So
holding
you put a
shape.
sealer on there first?
Yeah, that way you get more consistent color. Yeah, rather than letting it, because especially if it's ingrained, it would be a lot darker, so it's gonna absorb so much quicker than it would on the side grain as it goes around. So, but yeah, I got a long ways to go there.
Use shellac for your sealer?
Yeah, just a half-cut shellac, about 3 coats of it, sand it out, and then lay it over top of that, then finish with lacquer.
Let's see, who's got the ambrosia maple?
Well, this is, I would have been turning since April, this is just to see if I could do it to get the really fine undercut. Totally worthless bowl, because try and pour something out of it, and it's going to catch there. It was just,
Pretty frisbee
it's
though.
just a challenge to see if I could in fact do it, so that's all this is.
So you did a nice job.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, hold on.
And this is another one, this is apple. When I turned it, it was whole, but there's a lot of rot and stuff in it. So after I had it pretty much turned, I noticed that all this rot would pick out, so I picked all the rotten parts out, so I have another worthless bowl. It's got a lot of holes, but I find apple wood is really fun to turn. It has a lot of character and
Wood filler would take care of those holes though.
yeah, but what are you gonna do with it anyway? It's a good conversation piece. So, it's another one, just because I could.
Very good.
Okay, who's got the off-center? Like maybe Ron?
I saw that. A couple months ago, Tom Sampson was doing a demo on, I think it was SKU.
Yes.
And I snuck a couple of these in his box that he was gonna demo, and it really didn't happen. I started studying Barbara Dill's multi-axis turning. They're the most fascinating thing in the world to me. I love them. This is like a camshaft when you start with it. And if you see the thing spinning, I'll have to stop 2 or 3 times. You turn this V first, then you go to the opposite axis and have to go in and divide the two. And you'll turn the lathe on and you're gonna look at it and you go, now where am I supposed to put the tool? Seriously, I don't think well in 3D, but I was able to pull this off. This is the wrong wood. It is spalted beech, and I'm getting some tear out, and I'm using a spindle gouge that's too light, but I'm just having a great time with this stuff. Pardon? And this will be a Kachina. When it goes out west, I'll put a headband on it. It's going to have some feathers on it. Out in Arizona, they love their Kachinas. So that's what this will be. Now, next Saturday, I've checked with John Marquardt. He's going to be free. I have 5 lathes. I'm willing to set up 5 lathes and Saturday afternoon. If you guys want to come out and screw around with multi-axis turning, that's what we're going to do. So, no, we're going to do it at my house, just outside Greenville, Michigan. Yes?
Ron, I had the good fortune to take a week's class with Barbara in August, and she has a book, and I will try to get you.
I have the book.
The little book. She's coming out with another one, though.
Yes, she is.
And I'll tell you what a wonderful lady and teacher she is, and if I can make it up, I'd love to come next Saturday.
I have invited Barbara Dill to the retreat next year. She hasn't responded. The retreat team is really coming together, and I have some fabulous turners coming this year. But this is what we're going to do next Saturday. Okay, 1 o'clock my house. See me at break, and I'll tell you where I'm at. I have one other piece here. This is the first bowl I ever turned. Okay, thick, bad bottom. It's not, I don't think there's any tear out. I think this is cherry. This is from a class at Woodcraft. Ralph was the instructor. And I couldn't master the bowl gouge. A couple hours with Ralph and, you know, I wasn't throwing things against the wall anymore. I've not changed it since. I've left it the way it is. You know, hopefully this is what we're gonna try and do today is be catchless, okay? So you guys can take a look at that later. That is my first bowl. It's now 7.5 years old.
How about this piece here?
It's not really an art piece, it's a working piece.
I figured it's it's
I
working.
made a few of these, I'm gonna send some overseas. But anyway,
Raise up.
uh,
Okay.
this isn't quite done yet, it's gonna be a mandrel. We're gonna start making yo-yos at school, and I don't know how a lot of people make them, but I've made some, I didn't bring them, but I made them with metal axles in them and bearings, but we're gonna make them, put them on a screw. And so I've got a hub made for them guys with a 1"8" nut, and there's a screw sticking out of it. But this is gonna be a universal one. This isn't got the outer plate on it, but you're gonna screw a plate onto here, and you can put any kind of screw you want. You can put an off-center screw, you can put one on center. It's gonna be very universal. And I just had a brain fart one night, I was dreaming about this, and this is a Morse No. 2 taper on here. So you take this thing and wrap it right into your spindle, you don't have to screw anything on, and knock it right off, and then I put a screw in the back, because they get beat up from my knockout rod. But they fit in there really nice, and they run true as can be. So I got my old lathe set up with a No. 2 Morse taper on a taper screw. So I can knock these things out like crazy. So anybody needs a Morse taper out of wood, give me a block of wood and I can make it for you. And then you finish it, okay? But yeah, it's really nice. I mean, I've got 2 or 3 of these. They're going over to Croatia from a buddy of mine. Anyway, these are some other things I made. This is a Osage orange rolling pin. And I've got about a whole box full of them at home. I take them to the shows. And I brought this one because the other ones are like maple and walnut. Everybody's seen maple and walnut. But this is a walnut one with maple in it. This is a Celtic knot. And I got a friend out in Pennsylvania. His name's Lou. He sent me a beautiful one. It sits on the wall. It's on a rack. It's got 3 pieces on the insert. It's really a nice one. But he was the one that showed me how to do this because I was thinking about this for a long time. I don't know if any of you ever cut any one of these. There's a trick to it, and as soon as he tells you about it, it makes sense. When you're running this thing through the table saw, I was thinking, you cut these things off, and then how you get them all together, okay? What you do is you cut it, and you leave about a 1/16. You never cut it all the way through. So you take the thing through the saw, you cut it, then you have your insert in there, and you glue it all up, put it in there, clamp it, cut off the stuff that sticks out, flip it. 4 times you do that. And it's slicker than a whistle. I've got a cane. I didn't bring the cane in. I've got a cane with a loop handle on it, and I got 3 or 4 more blanks in the barn that are ready to go as soon as I get people's sizes that they want. But this was a really neat process, you know. And this is a single blade. This was about 110,000th blade. The cane I made, I took 2 10-inch saw blades and put them together on there, and I made, I think it was about 208 thousandths or something like that. I made the pieces to fit that. But I've made a sled for my table saw because I always have trouble, or my planer, I always have trouble getting thin things on the planer to make inserts like this. So I found that I got a piece of plywood that I feed through the planer, and it's got a lip on the front edge because I put a lip on the back edge and it doesn't do anything. Put the lip on the front edge, and when that thing is pulled through with the cutter, it cuts that thing. You can cut down to 100 thousandths like nothing, just slick as can be. So it's really good. I mean, that's the only way I could do this without that.
I smell a demo coming here.
Yeah.
No, not with that.
No, with the Celtic knot.
Oh, it is. You got a table saw for that.
Table saw, I've seen him do that on a bandsaw, too, the Celtic.
These are a couple of bowls that I roughed out back about September of last year, and I just let them set. I haven't tried the alcohol, but I'm going to start trying that. My wife and I eat all of our salads out of wooden bowls, and I love functional stuff. So I did this one and this one.
kind of wood did you use?
Um,
Do you remember?
Both of them are, these two are maple, I'm pretty sure. And then I had a cherry crotch. And when I got into, I noticed that to keep the flame in there, I couldn't take it down very far, so I just made a little something to set on, and you can set whatever you want on it. So.
That is for diet.
Yeah, dieting.
So what kind of fish do you use in your salad bowls?
All of my salad bowls, I use the wax-based that you get right there at Woodcraft. And I put 6, 8, 10 coats on it. But I'm more into the functional stuff, so.
Wax-based oil?
It's a salad oil finish.
Okay.
What kind of roots that made from?
I do have a root. Hang on.
Let me get a picture of that one first.
Hang on. This here is just a small spalded oak crotch. I have donated several crotches for the raffle, so I thought I would just show you what you can do with them, right? And most of them, I think excuse me, the crotches that I donated have been spalted of some type. But this, just a little one, I just finished it, and then I have another one that's a little bigger, made out of maple, and it also has a flame in it. And like this one here, you run into a problem if you take it down, because yeah, I've done that. You know, and you say, oh, it's going to be beautiful when I'm done. Oh no!
That's why I stopped that one there.
Yeah. So on the bigger ones, sometimes what I do is I have to raise it up, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to lose the flame, because that's really nice. And then this one here is a bigger one. This has also got the flame in it. It's oak. And so, but you got the root. I knew somebody was going to see that, but they beat me to the punch. This is Russian olive root. It's a piece of it, and I did turn it on the bottom. This I carved this part here out. It had some other stuff on it, so what I did is it had another, like almost a branch, but it was a piece on there, and I screwed it to a board, and then I screwed that to my faceplate, and then I drilled it first with about 1.5 inches. Well, I drilled it and progressively took it out, and then I could jam chuck it with a, with a dowel in there on tailstock, and then I could do this, and then I carved it with a flexible shaft carver. And I'm not exactly sure what to do with that. I thought maybe I'd put some kind of a jewel or something in there, not a diamond, Just, I don't know, to do something, but I used and I got a tip. I got a Weecher flexible shaft grinder, and I ordered a new flexible shaft. I had trouble with those things, and it was bad, and I'm still got issues with them trying to get it resolved. But I found that Master Carver, the flexible shaft, works perfect on there, right? And it's less expensive. So just a tip, if you got a Weecher and you need a new shaft, go to a Master Carver. They got a catalog. But anyway, that is root.
Where'd you get the root from?
I got it from Rocky. He used to come to our club. Remember Rocky? He lived over
From
by
Lansing?
By Lansing. But yeah, because he saw some of my stuff that I did, so he brought me a couple of big roots, right? Because he didn't know how to finish them. And this is just a piece. I have quite a bit more that I did, and some of it I've already sold, but some of it I'll bring in some other pieces when I'm done with it.
Speaking of sources for stuff, there's a place in Kalamazoo on the north side by Sprinkle Road. I don't know if anybody knows where the Kalamazoo Rocky Gun Club is out there. But it's not marked very well. It's right next door to the Kalamazoo Rocky Gun Club, and you'll be able to get a lot of burros out of there.
Is it a sawmill?
It's, yeah, they're cutting down trees, they're sawing it, but they're not they're sawing regular burls up into lumber.
Yeah, those guys I've met at a couple of shows I was at this year. It's two guys that are running the sawmill down there. And they told me they've got a gondola full of burls. Anybody come down there and make an offer, I said, well, what do you want from me? I want you to make me an offer. Well, I've never bought a burl, so I don't know how to price it, so I haven't been down there to see that guy. Yeah, have you been down there to see what they got?
But that sounds like a field trip.
It's black, they said they got a whole bunch of black locust burls. And they've got like a whole bucket of them, and I was been meaning to talk to you and ask you what is the price of a burl?
It's gonna depend on the size, the type of burls, how solid the burls are. You take 2 pockets of money, one with a lot less and one with a lot more. You offer them the less pocket first, okay? That's all the money I've got.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah.
Well,
Do they have big ones?
they had some burls that were probably about like this that they saw off, that weren't real thick, it's probably about that thick, they said they get about 10 bucks.
Okay. I've seen those guys, I think 3 times this past summer. They approached me, I got their cards at home and their addresses, so.
It's not too far from where I am.
Okay.
They also have a Facebook presence.
Oh, do they? Okay.
I got a burl from them, and it was hard as concrete.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. It was green, so I'm letting it dry right now. I got it worked out.
It'll just get hard.
It was hard.
Okay, well, we're going to, go ahead.
Speaking of resources, Power Company came and trimmed trees in the back of my truck. Anybody that wants it, I've got a couple pieces of cherry about this big around, this long. The longer one, I got a piece of walnut about this long, 6-inch. And I got a piece of Texas ebony. If you want them, they're across the street in the back of my truck. Help yourself. I'll take you out at break if you want.
Yeah, make a donation to the.
Yeah, you should bring them into our raffle table, and then they'll raffle them off, and,
How heavy they are.
yeah.
They were just cut this week.
Yeah. Jim, you got something?
Yeah, John Plug isn't here, he's gonna join the guild, he doesn't do turning yet?
I think he's already joined.
Okay, it is joined, anyway.
Yeah.
He's got a friend, John Nobles, that clears land.
Yeah.
And he brought John 300 trees, but he's got a ton of burls at his place that he doesn't know what they're worth and he wants to get rid of them, so that might be a trip too if somebody wants to take a look at that.
He brought burls in about 4 months ago.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and I wasn't gonna take a second mortgage on the house.
He wanted that much for him?
Yeah, he did.
Really?
Yeah, he did.
Ooh.
I think they got a gold mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, burl people think they're.
Unfortunately, since the advent of the television shows with these guys hunt burls, everybody is, just from my experience in buying them, everybody thinks every piece of burl is worth $600 a pound. The price of burls in the last 3 years has probably quadrupled, regardless of species, in my experience, yeah.
If they're selling them by the pound, you walk away.
Okay, we're gonna take a quick break. During the break, we're gonna do raffles. Ken's got the raffle tickets, the raffle stuff's on the